What if I told you the tribal chief didn't come back alone? After months in the shadows, Roman Reigns just walked into Smackdown and dropped a nuclear bomb, revealing his new inner circle. But this isn't just any faction. This is S.H.I.E.L.D. 2.0. You thought the Bloodline was dominant? Think again. Because the tribal chief just brought back something darker, smarter, deadlier. And the names he picked? You won't believe it. One's a betrayal, one's a future, and one is a ghost from the past. This changes everything. So don't blink, because by the end of this video, you're gonna see why Roman Reigns' return might be the most dangerous move in WWE history. What if I told you the most feared man in modern WWE history didn't just come back to SmackDown, he came back with a storm? Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, has returned. But he didn't come back to reunite the Bloodline. He came back to reshape the game, to tear the past apart and rebuild something even more dangerous. This isn't the Roman who sat at the top of the food chain for 3 years. This is a colder, darker version. And what he brought with him sent a jolt through the entire locker room. SmackDown was already tense before his music hit. Paul Heyman had been whispering warnings for weeks, Solo Sikoa was running things with an iron fist, and chaos had become the new normal. But then, without warning, the lights dimmed. The camera panned across the stunned faces of the WWE Universe. And then that haunting music, that slow, deliberate walk. The tribal necklace gleaming under the spotlight. Roman Reigns walked down the ramp like a man who never left, like a ghost come back to claim what was his. But here's the twist, he didn't look at Solo. He didn't look at Paul Heyman. He didn't even acknowledge the Bloodline banners still hanging high in the arena. No, Roman stood in the middle of the ring, mic in hand, and uttered 3 words that shook the foundations of WWE. This is over. The crowd fell into a stunned silence. Over? What did he mean? Was he walking away again? Was he dismantling the Bloodline?
No.
He wasn't ending his legacy. He was upgrading it. Roman then took a long pause, looked straight into the camera, and said, "You thought the Bloodline was dominance. You thought the Shield was history. But what if I told you? I've built something better." The screen cut to black. Then one by one, they stepped out from the smoke. First was someone no one expected, Sami Zayn. But this wasn't the loudmouth underdog. This Sami looked sharp, stoic,
Changed.
in a suit, with a cold stare. The crowd erupted in confusion and disbelief. After everything Roman did to him, after being exiled and brutalized by the very family Roman led, how could Sami be standing beside him now? Roman looked at the crowd and simply said, he finally understands. Loyalty isn't about feelings. It's about survival. A betrayal? Absolutely. But not just of Kevin Owens or JUSO. This was a betrayal of the very man Sami used to be. Then came the second figure. And this one sent a chill down the collective spine of every WWE fan. It was Braun Breaker. No smile. No theatrics. Just that signature scowl. Those shoulders like wrecking balls. And the aura of raw, unfiltered power. The future, standing beside the present. Roman called him the future alpha. A soldier born in legacy and molded in fury. You don't build dynasties without warriors, Roman said, and you don't build a shield without someone who breaks bones for fun. But it was the third man, the final piece, that turned confusion into complete chaos. The camera panned to the stage as a hooded figure slowly stepped out. Silence fell. Then the hood came down, and the crowd absolutely lost it. It was Dean Ambrose. Or, as we used to know him. But he wasn't grinning like the lunatic fringe. He wasn't wild-eyed. He looked focused. Dangerous. He looked like a man who had seen war and come back not to be saved, but to lead it. The crowd didn't know whether to scream or stay silent. Jon Moxley was standing next to Roman Reigns. The impossible had happened. The ghost of the Shield wasn't just back. He was reborn. Roman looked around, then slowly turned to face the camera once more. You wanted brothers? I built warriors. You wanted family? I brought killers. This is S.H.I.E.L.D. 2.0. And this time, we don't just survive. We conquer. Backstage, the fallout was instant. Solo Sikoa was seen smashing equipment. Paul Heyman was pacing frantically, refusing interviews. Seth Rollins? Nowhere to be found. Cameras caught Drew McIntyre shaking his head in disbelief. Even the most dominant of men looked like pawns in a game they didn't realize had already begun. Roman hadn't just returned. He reset the board. And now, Shield 2.0 was moving like assassins through the kingdom he once ruled. Except now, he wasn't playing defense. This new faction isn't bound by blood. It's bound by purpose. Roman chose Sami not for his strength, but for his mind. For his ability to manipulate, to survive, to weave through the politics and chaos and still rise. Sami is now the chess master of this new war. Every line he once crossed in fear, he now walks with clarity. He's not the sidekick anymore, he's the strategist. Braun Breaker, on the other hand, is the hammer. Roman didn't need another cousin. He needed a weapon. And Braun is that weapon. Roman has molded him into something terrifying, not just an enforcer, but a statement. Every time Braun steps into the ring, he leaves behind shattered dreams and broken egos. He doesn't care about alliances or history. He's there to destroy. And then there's Ambrose. Moxley. The one everyone thought was gone for good. His return raises more questions than answers. Did Roman promise him something greater? Did he see the writing on the wall and choose chaos over solitude? Or is this simply revenge on a world that moved on without him? Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. Ambrose isn't back to play games. He's back to burn bridges. All of them. Together, these three form something WWE has never seen before. Not a family. Not a club. A machine. Cold. Calculated. Ruthless. They don't smile. They don't pose. They don't talk unless it's to issue a warning. And their message is simple. Roman Reigns is no longer your tribal chief. He is your reckoning. Already, the power structure on SmackDown has started to crack. The tag division is in chaos. Seth Rollins, now seen as a relic of the old Shield, is being stalked. Cody Rhodes has gone silent. Even the rising stars like Carmelo Hayes and Grayson Waller are beginning to step back, sensing that the air has changed. There's no room for flair anymore. No room for showboating. Shield 2.0 has brought a military precision back to WWE. You fall in line, or you get steamrolled. Roman's first move came fast. Within days, he called out Solo Sikoa directly. Not to fight. Not to reunite. But to warn. I built the empire you're playing in. And I'm back to take it back. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't even raise his fist. Because when you control chaos like Roman now does, you don't threaten. You promise. Now the question isn't whether the Bloodline can survive. It's whether they can even fight back. With Jacob Fatu recovering from his betrayal, with Jimmy Uso still torn between sides, and with Solo spiraling into rage-fueled decisions, the once untouchable Bloodline